Obie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, James. Thanks for having me on the show this morning.
You bet. Obie, why don't we start with an overview? What is it that Grown Rogue International does?
Yeah, Grown Rogue International is a U.S.-based cannabis company, really focused on three primary mandates. The first is brand. We believe the future of this industry is really in the brand. It's a consumer packaged goods space. So we're very focused on the long-term goals of establishing trust and transparency with the consumers. Secondarily, because of the challenges in supply chain, we're very focused on vertical integration, at least in the near term. You know, there's a lot of issues around ensuring quality of product. It starts with the manufacturer and ends up with the final retail consumer. And then obviously, thirdly, with the federal restrictions around interstate commerce, being a multi-state operator and expanding your geographic footprint is extremely critical. So Grown Rogue is focused kind of at a high level on achieving those three primary objectives. And we do that with a great team, a definite focus on quality of products, compliance from the regulatory side, to ensure that we bring, the proper procedures and are normalizing cannabis as the industry matures and consumers get more comfortable with the products.
Okay, so essentially a multi-state operator that's vertically integrated. Tell me about your growing footprint and what's your customer base look like right now?
Yeah, good question. The growing footprint right now is on the manufacturing side. We have about 100,000 square feet of mixed indoor and outdoor cultivation. We use a lot of our outdoor cultivation for feedstock for our derivative products. That's pre-rolls, concentrates, cartridges. There's been a big push towards terpenes and other profiles that are associated with the product. And the outdoor growing really creates a much better input for those types of end consumer products. We also have a large state-of-the-art indoor facility that we produce, mostly a base flower that goes to the market. The consumer right now is still, it's transitioning to more of the professional, more of the normalized mainstream consumer, doctors and soccer moms, attorneys, more of that professional network. And so really the Grown Rogue brand is focused on appealing to that demographic. But obviously there's still a lot of the conventional, historical, smokers and consumers of the product that are a big part of our market today.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you've got an interesting sort of unique thing that I've never seen before is your nitrogen sealed pre-rolls. What is that all about?
Yeah, we have a huge focus on quality of products, and in order to reach the quality that we expect, our goal is to provide the freshest possible product that you can achieve. And so as we looked at different ways to preserve cannabis to ensure that it's as close to when we harvest as when the consumer gets to purchase the product, we looked at different ways to stabilize the degradation that occurs. And so we settled on nitrogen as an inert gas in order to provide that. And what we found was in the pre-rolls, and we do this for our flower as well, that we could create a solution that allowed us to essentially preserve a pre-roll to that point. So we have a nitrogen patent-pending sealing technology that we use to ensure that the pre-rolls that we put to the market are the freshest possible.
Okay, so in the context of the markets in Oregon and California, is it a case where it's getting tougher and tougher to compete in terms of margin because there's such an oversupply of cannabis in the marketplace, or has that not really become a challenge for anybody yet?
You're definitely seeing compression in pricing. Everyone anticipated, supply-demand mechanics working. I don't think anyone anticipated it occurring as fast as it has. But obviously with producer-based states like Oregon and California, we're centralized in the Emerald Triangle, which has been one of the, world-famous regions for production of cannabis for a long time. We anticipated some of this coming. As far as impacting our business, obviously when, pricing compresses, your margins start to shrink some. But that being said, Grown Rogues continue to be able to excel and expand our business model. While we don't anticipate, this type of growth continuing as, the company grows and gets bigger, through Q3 of 2018, we were at a 30% month-over-month compound annual growth rate. So while we're in a very competitive market with compressing prices, our approach, our brand, our transparency, our commitment to the consumer is really, reaping the benefits of, that philosophy that we hold inside the company.
Okay, so what would you say is your competitive differentiator that allows Grown Rogue to compete so successfully in these competitive marketplaces?
A lot of it comes down to the team that we put in place. I mean, that's from the execution standpoint. Really, the way we're separating ourselves with the consumer is establishing a much simpler way for consumers to purchase. So pretty much every single product that we manufacture or bring into our portfolio is classified into 5 simple categories. It's based upon the Grown Rogue name, based upon Rogue, which we're in the Rogue Valley. It's relax, optimize, groove, uplift, energize. And this allows the consumer to really understand and make a decision for their purchase based upon the experience that they want to have when they consume cannabis. We promote a very active and healthy lifestyle. Some companies are moving towards the experience component or the classification to simplify purchasing decisions. But Grown Rogue is the only company that's actually validating where we place those products based upon crowdsourcing data. So we actually go out to the consumer, they're able to participate in a survey that we put on that, asks them questions about demographic, height, weight, other things that they experience when they consume, that allows us to, through the psychoanalysis component, confirm the classifications we put our products in. And then we also have a very robust and sophisticated analytical program that we use that takes in CBD and THC ratios, terpene profiles, and which terpenes are associated with the products, so that we really create the right experience every time.
Okay, and so did the passage of the Farm Bill yesterday constitute any sort of advantage or future catalyst for Grown Rogue?
Absolutely. I mean, in the near term, there will obviously be some benefits around normalization of cannabis. The regulatory structure in the U.S. is starting to change, which is beneficial for everyone. It really is going to help with like hemp and CBD, which is becoming a big market in the U.S. And one of the things that Grown Rogue is navigating into as part of some of like our edible products. CBD allows you to place products in the states where THC is not legal. Also allows you to ship, from a single manufacturing center. It really allows you to scale your business in a much more efficient and pragmatic way.
Okay, and so you've established in California and Oregon so far. Are there other states that you have your eye on at this point?
Absolutely. As part of our mandate to our board and our shareholders, being a multi-state operator to expand the geographic footprint is extremely critical. So we're constantly evaluating states. We took a very, approach that's really factored in, the parameters that we've identified. Most of it comes down to the timing from medical to recreational transition is really where Grown Rogue focuses, is establishing our foothold, our team during that transition. If you get into a state too early, obviously, your time horizon to create a return on your investment is a little bit longer than we'd like. And as you've seen in other more mature states, you get into them too late, and the competitive nature of the markets, really, the ability to put our platform in place becomes much tougher.
Okay, so what is it that excites you most about the emerging markets in the whole United States?
I think the most exciting part is really to, provide to the consumer a healthier alternative to a lot of the, existing vices that are out there, from alcohol to tobacco. And you're seeing some of those larger companies come into our sector. You saw Constellation's investment. You just saw Altria come in with their investment into Kronos. What Grown Rogue's really focused on is providing, normalizing, I guess, the cannabis component and really providing an opportunity for people to utilize this in a healthy and active lifestyle. I mean, we really look at the market as there's three different critical components. There's the true medical side, which we believe will be dominated mostly by pharmaceutical type companies that are focused on lab studies and really taking a scientific approach to the medical benefits. That's really not Grown Rogue's focus. Why we believe and support and are committed to those types of products, we're not building that type of company. On the adult use side, we really see a bifurcation where there is, your conventional, call it stoner, who is smoking to get, a very specific effect. And again, that's not the Grown Rogue focus. Our focus is on the active, enthusiast who is looking at these products to, maybe it's help with sleep. They're stressed out because of a relationship or a job. Maybe instead of taking caffeine in the afternoon, they'd like to take an energized drink that provides them, that pump that you need to get through the rest of the day. We're big on active outdoor lifestyles, and we really want our company and our products to be supportive of that focus.
Okay, well that's great, Obie. That's an interesting introduction. We're going to follow with interest. We'll come back to you in a quarter's time and see how you're doing. Thanks for joining me today.